San Jose State versus Nevada. We are now getting into a lot of the conference matchups, and both of these teams have bright spots in their own regards. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I think that Nevada obviously is not the favorite in this game. They're 2-3, and San Jose State is 3-1 with 1 win in the division so far. I like what Emmett Brown's doing right now. 1,200 yards, almost 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You know, the rushing from San Jose State is not as prevalent as Nevada, but obviously they had Brandon Lewis, right? And we watched Brandon Lewis since the first week, and we said that this dude is going to have to put this team on his back. Also having, again, when I talk about having good positional rooms like a Nevada has with the 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀, you got to think that that's on his mind at the end of the day, that I could be replaced. Now, I think the keys to the game is actually going to be the running game. And I think Savion Brown is definitely coming from Texas, can definitely give them the edge if there was any edge for Nevada in this game. I don't know if Brandon Lewis can be the guy that's just always putting the team on his back. But one positive thing is them playing Eastern Washington and having that 49-16 victory. But even more so, it's a confidence builder for them. But I think the confidence builder that was for San Jose State coming after the game of Washington State in that second overtime, they've had a bye week now, so they've had some time to rest. And so did Nevada. They've had, a little time to rest as well. But playing Washington State, having an extra day, playing them in overtime, putting up a game of 54-52, and obviously having Emmett Brown and one of the best wide receivers in the country right now, Nick Nash, that nobody is talking about, and he's flying under the radar every single week. 637 yards for your face, 8 touchdowns, and just going absolutely crazy. I mean, this dude is catching 20-yard passes back to back to back to back in every single game. And let's not even talk about the reception numbers against Kennesaw State, 17 receptions, off of Washington State, 16 receptions, 12.7 yards a clip. Now, when it came down to it, obviously Nick Nash was the X factor for me. I don't think Nevada's secondary has been all that great this year. As you see, most of the yards that have come against them have been through in the air, right? So at this point in time, I'm taking San Jose State with my win. But I do think that this game is closer than what a lot of people are expecting it to be. Let's see what I didn't even see what the betting lines have. So now that I'm getting more involved with that, so they're only a 6-point favorite. I would have thought it would have been more. So Vegas actually agrees with kind of my sentiment that this is going to be a close game. So
it's moved that way. San Jose State opened as 7.5-point favorites. The line has since moved.
Still, I would have figured it was like
less than.
I figured San Jose State would have been favored by like 10 or 13.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's good. Yeah, I see that it did open at 7.5. Okay. All right, Sor, give us your outlook, sir.
Yeah. So both of these quarterbacks, these are guys that we have been watching since the beginning. I mean, again, as I mentioned earlier in the show with 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, that was kind of the biggest question of, is Emmett Brown really going to be able to, pick up where 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 left off? And so far, yes. So far, the answer is just yes. And the one loss that San Jose State had was in double overtime to Washington State, who was undefeated, but it was a 52-54 game. And, you kind of look at what Brown did. He had 4 touchdowns, almost 400 yards, threw the ball like 54 times and 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you look at the defensive side, they also gave up damn near 400 yards, but they also got 2 interceptions. And that's also something as well with San Jose State, is their defense has been able to get the turnovers. Yes, they might be able to, or they might be able to. Yes, they will let up big yardage like they did against Washington State, but they will still give the offense opportunities to score. We look at what Nevada did last week, where against, or sorry, not last week, 2 weeks ago against Minnesota, their toughest opponent. And Brendan Lewis went 114 for 3 interceptions. Yes, Minnesota is one of the best opponents that they're going to be facing pretty much throughout the entirety of this year. But I don't know. They're riding high after getting their first win. I think it's going to come down to how you said running. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback is going to be the better, Brendan Lewis or Emmett Brown. And I think Emmett Brown's going to be the reason why San Jose State is going to win this game. Yes, he might throw an interception here or there, but as we've pretty much seen before, they're not afraid to have this kid throw the ball 50 times a game. It's going to be a high risk, high reward type of play. Either you're going to get an immense 75-yard bomb, or it's going to be a basically interception that's equivalent of a punt.
Yep.
So I just think the power of Emmett Brown and San Jose State's offense is going to be too much, and their defense, it isn't that bad. They've given the offense plenty of opportunities to score as well. They've gotten many turnovers throughout the season.
They've been better than what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
So, I think, Khalid, didn't you have them in your Mountain West?
Maybe.
I have to go look, but I'll let you spit. I'll go back and look and see.
Yeah, per alley. Somebody give this man lyrics. He's spitting bars.
So, Dante, you brought up the exact focus of the game that I had down, and especially for Nevada and Savion Red, the Texas running back transfer.
Great minds think alike.
Yes, sir. I like what Jeff Choate is doing at Nevada. The first time, head coach there. He was a special teams, I think, and linebackers coach at Texas as well. Brought a couple players with him. But San Jose State's been hot, and they're, like y'all have said, their only losses so far this season has been to Wazoo in double overtime, who was also undefeated, I believe, right? So that's not a bad loss. San Jose State, good team. They're 3-1. They're a strong 3-1 side. Looking at the players who you want to focus on for Nevada, the way to win this game is you have to get the ground game going. That's what Savion Red, your leading rusher. The Texas running back transfer leads the Wolfpack in rushing yards with 394 yards in 4 games, averaging 7.3 yards per carry. That is incredible. San Jose State just allowed over 200 yards on the ground against Washington State, right? Now, in their games before that, Kennesaw State couldn't run the ball, but they're Kennesaw State. Air Force couldn't run the ball too well, but remember that San Jose State's head coach, Ken Niumatalolo, used to coach the triple option, so he knows, of all people, how to defend it. But the Air Force did pick up 143 yards on the ground. But when you look at the type of running game that Washington State has, right, it focuses on also having a dynamic quarterback, right? John Mateer tore up, the last few opponents that they've played. You look at a guy like Brandon Lewis, right? Sora, you pointed out his woes as a passer, some interceptions, and he was one of my first overreactions I had. I said that if he played well enough this year, he could transfer to a big program. Well, he hasn't been quite as great after that close loss to SMU, but he hasn't been terrible. If he can pose a rushing threat alongside Savion Red, they will follow a similar blueprint that Washington State used to beat San Jose State, right? So that's how you win if you're Nevada. You have to get the ground game going. You have to focus on Savion Red and also have Brandon Lewis as a threat. On the defensive side of the ball for San Jose State, right, how they can win, because their offense, they're going to put up points, right? They're going to score with Nash out at wide receiver. I mean, he has some of the most volume and production to go with it out of any wide receiver in the country at this point. But on defense, I want to focus on linebacker Jordan Pollard. He leads the Spartans in tackles this year and has been very, very active against the run. And since, I look at Savion Red and Brandon Lewis as the keys to the game for Nevada, Pollard is going to be the key for San Jose State. Because if you can shut down the running game for Nevada, you're more than likely going to win, and you could win by a lot if you're able to shut down the run. But that's a big if, because Pollard, had a little bit of he struggled last week because Washington State posed a very similar threat, as I said, with John Mateer at quarterback, and they ran all over San Jose State. Pollard had 8 tackles, but he missed 4. He had only missed 3 in his 3 games prior to that this season. So a lot of missed tackles this past week. And if Pollard and the rest of that run defense can't shut down Savion Red, then suddenly you're looking at a game where Nevada can keep it close or even get the upset, right? If a couple mistakes occur that go in Nevada's favor, you're looking at a close game or an upset. So I look at the Nevada running game and the San Jose State defense, and I'm like, I need both of those sides to step up if either side wants to win, because we know that the San Jose State passing game should have their way against Nevada. It's going to be about this Nevada running game. But I do have San Jose State winning this game. I don't see Red being able to get that much going. Like, I think he'll be pretty effective, but at some point, they're just going to have to. San Jose State's going to be running up the score with that passing attack. It's going to be hard to keep up because, the game script, when you're behind, you generally have to pass the ball. So San Jose State with that potent offense, if they can score a lot quickly, get out in front early, then suddenly you're taking the best method of winning, best method of attack for Nevada out of the equation, because now they have to pass the ball to move it. So I think San Jose State wins this one somewhat comfortably, but it could very well be closer than people think.
So you know what's interesting that I just found out, by the way?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, so while 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗧 was talking, apparently breaking news happened. Apparently, if you're married, that gives you a big boost to winning the Heisman. Breaking news. I found that out while 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗧 was talking. Anyways, continue, Dante. If that's the case, then Jaron Hall should have been unanimous.
Jaron Hall should be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings right now, except they waived him.
Anyway,
actually,
you saying,
how ironic that I have a Jaron Hall memorabilia card right here.
Anyways, please continue.
Just sitting here on my desk. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I think San Jose State at the beginning definitely pulls away, and I think it starts getting closer in the second half. And I think it's going to make for a pretty good game. I think it's just the brilliance of what San Jose State's got going on right now that's going to help them propel past the win. But who knows? We could be wrong, and it could go on the other side of everything. And
thank you, Bandito.
and look the total opposite way. We'll get into everybody's predictions after we do the second game, so you guys can see that.